Well, Ashish Prashar is a former advisor to the Middle East peace envoy and was a political strategist for the Obama and Biden campaigns and joins us live here on set. Ashish, thank you very much for coming in. I wanted to start by asking you, as Israel moves forward with a plan to fully occupy the territory, in your opinion, what is Benjamin Netanyahu's end game here?
I mean, his end game has been stated from the beginning. It started with his statement about Amalek. It started with Yoav Gallant. Effectively, there's no innocent person in Gaza. Their end game has always been to completely ethnically cleanse Gaza and Palestine in its entirety. They've not hidden it. They've not hidden it from their own press, which have covered it in Haaretz. They've not hidden it from projecting it to the Palestinians or the Arab partners. Where they're hiding it or where they're getting propaganda cover is the West. We're acting like we're just hearing this news, oh, they're going to do a full occupation, when it's been on the cards since day one, since October 10th, 11th, 12th. Every day they have talked about it openly. And the goal in the end of the day is to, even in the nature of the plan, think about it, they want everyone to be pushed into the tiniest possible scenario, right? 2 million people, however many are left, frankly, it could be 1.8, 1.7, into the tiniest possibly enclaves. And anyone who remains outside of that will be regarded as Hamas. So they're basically giving cover and getting Western cover to execute anyone outside these tiny Warsaw ghettos within the Gaza Strip.
And from a humanitarian point of view, what does the forced displacement of 800,000 people we're talking about here from Gaza City actually look like?
I mean, the images we're seeing now and over the past 22 months have been nothing but soul-shattering, right? We still have people calling this a defensive operation in the West. Western governments, Western leaders who are still justifying it, even with their false pretense of recognizing a Palestinian state or caring about humanitarian aid with these airdrops that are killing as many people as they save. We shouldn't be shocked that everybody is going to be killed. I mean, I don't think we should pretend that's not going to happen. They have the Israeli occupation, their American backers, and the Brits and French and everyone else who's been supportive have destroyed and murdered all means to sustain life. Whatever lifeline is left right now is being squeezed to the last ounce it has left. And the reason it's continuing, the reason the Americans who are co-authors of this genocide are okay with that is because American officials under both Biden and now Trump believe, and they do believe this, that one day we'll just forget about it like we forgot about Iraq. They believe us as a combined public, a global community, will just let it go. And the difference, I think they don't realize, is we're being forced, thanks to great coverage from people on the ground in Gaza, thanks to social media, thanks to networks that are covering this in the Middle East and beyond, we're being forced to watch a genocide on our screens, and that's where they're getting it wrong. They think we're gonna give up. But what they don't understand is if we watch 800,000 people be massacred, whether slow death of starvation or killed and executed in the streets because they've been called Hamas, at some point the world is going to punch back.
You mentioned the coverage, ongoing coverage in Gaza. Of course, we're all covering this devastating news of the 5 Al Jazeera staff and journalists killed by the Israeli military. Is the timing here of these murders by the Israeli military relevant, in your opinion? Because at the end of the day, they are the world's eyes and ears as to what's going on the ground. Yeah,
I mean, everyone in Gaza who is a journalist who's covering this needs to, in the next few days, think about their safety. The Israelis are trying to kill all witnesses to this. The reason they want to completely occupy it and get on with it, or finish the job, as President Trump says, is they want to also clear out the evidence. Because one day, you know, the racism behind the idea that the international press should be let in, we have a fantastic, heroic journalists. I don't think words we have to describe what they've been and lived through to bring us the truth from Gaza, being shot at, killed, entire family lines of theirs being wiped out, like Al Jazeera. We have had all that happen, and the reason they're doing it at an accelerated rate now is they're trying to stop the witnesses. They're trying to stop us seeing it. They're trying to stop us witness the carnage so they can finish the job and then cover it up like it never happened, the way that we have all visually seen it. So the evidence is gone, because in every street corner are signs of Holocaust right now. You only have to look at Anas's posts. You only have to look at your colleagues' posts. They walk around, there's skeletal remains of people who've not been picked up. in the 22 months of this genocide, of this Holocaust that we're witnessing. And the reason they've killed him is to not just silence him, is to maybe send the last message to any other last remaining journalist in Gaza. You better stop covering it or we are going to kill you and your entire family line. That's where we're at. And they're doing this openly because Western press have done nothing to support their allies. This isn't, press in the Middle East and Turkey and other nations have, but the quote-unquote international media, from CNN to the BBC, have done nothing but be complicit in the killing of these people by actually using Israel's own lines that they could have been Hamas.
You mentioned that this will continue on until the international community punches back. Yeah. What will it take?
I move past what will it take. I think at this point, civil society is going to have to break the mold here. We've got a flotilla leaving Europe, which is not one ship, it's 40. We need more of that. People need to rise up at this point across nations to make their governments change their path. We need football fans to force their governments to boycott Israel. We need their football associations to boycott Israel. We need Israeli companies not to be completely isolated. We need Israeli citizens to not be able to travel. We need individuals and their countries and civil society to take action against their own governments to enforce this. Israel is the pariah of the world. We just haven't had the action to support that right now. We need them kicked out of every international body. And the public is more powerful than we pretend to be sometimes. I think we forget that. I always go back to, take how Russia was kicked out of football. It wasn't because FIFA and UEFA had morals. It was principally because 12 countries decided they would boycott Russia and forcing the international body to make a decision. Well, the public should go march against their football authorities. If Starmer and co feel unreachable, people who serve in their football authorities aren't, and they should make that happen. The more we isolate, the more we make them the pariah that they actually are, the more that we send flotillas to break that siege, the more people that jump on Samud convoys on land to go break that siege will force every other government to act. Because at that point, civil society is saying no. No more genocide, no more Holocaust, no more trauma of the Palestinians, and no more trauma for the rest of the world who have to consume this and watch this.
Ashish, really appreciate your time, your thoughts, your analysis, and for coming here into the studio once again.